Hey, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. It is your girl Mel. I have another candidate here. I am sitting over here on the south side of Youngstown at Vibes Restaurant and Bar Grill. Is this a bar?
Event center.
Event center?
An event center.
An event center, yeah. I'm at the event center, people.
I'll let you know when you walk.
Yeah, I'm at the event. I'm on the event side. Let's be clear. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm at the event side. Real talk. It's Sunday. Okay. I am sitting here with an election candidate, Miss Josie Lyon, who will be running for 7th Ward. Yeah, 7th Ward Council. All right? 7th Ward. Hear me. 7th Ward. The listeners know it's a means to my madness. Because you know what? Sometimes people get so confused with which ward. It's like, okay, wait a minute. What are we doing here? With council, and they lump all you guys together. So can you help me and the listening audience by explaining what the 7th Ward covers? What area?
So we go South Avenue up to Midlothian, all the way along Midlothian, across Youngstown Poland Road to Walton Avenue. And then to the north, we border Dewey. And so we have Homestead Park that we kept in our ward after the new redistricting. I'm not going to forget the Brownlee Woods neighborhood. And it goes to a country club.
Okay.
That street, so it goes over to there. So we have like Powerstown, Buckeye Platte. Those are also along in the 7th Ward over here. We're the easternmost. Well, other than the east side, but we're on closer to the east side of the city.
Okay, well, help the people like me in the back. When you say Walnut, landmarks.
Okay, so Elm Tree Catering, TC Ready Mix, we border Struthers over there.
Okay. All right, so I was thinking that was more of the Struthers area because I know the Elm Tree has that. It says Struthers, Ohio, but that's
a big source of debate. Yes,
okay.
They give it as their mailing address, but they are actually in the city of Youngstown. One great way to know if you're in the city is if you call the wastewater treatment plant for a backup or something. They'll let you know.
They'll let you know immediately.
So wastewater. If Elm Tree Catering has backup, that's who's coming, not Mahoning Valley Sanitary District. And people on the west side also, might think in the Cornersburg area, that gets a little confusing over there.
It does.
Again, call wastewater. They'll give them your address and they'll let you know.
You know it.
I do.
No, let me get your right number. All right, Miss Josie Lyon. Now, I'm from Youngstown. And I don't know you. So talk to the people. Tell us, who are you?
Well,
how long have you been here?
I've been here 25 years.
Okay.
We raised 4 children. We have 6 grandchildren. When our youngest was ready to leave the nest, I decided to start volunteering instead of necessarily going back to work. And I started small. My neighborhood association, my neighborhood really wasn't covered by a group. So I started a group that they did have a group 2 years before, but their leader had passed away and no one really picked it up. So I kind of created a new one, but still with the same group of people. As I was doing that, I was asked to join the board of the 7th Ward Citizens Coalition.
So you were in the 7th Ward the 25 years?
We moved here to Youngstown. My husband works for the wastewater treatment plant.
That's why you knew all that information.
I know a lot about storm sewers, catch basins, and all that stuff. So
we're just I need to do something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did. I love to share whatever information that I've learned. But so we've been over there for the past 25 years here in the 7th Ward.
Okay.
So then the board eventually voted me on as president of the 7th Ward Citizens Coalition, and I've been president now for the past 3 years. And so I've just been, continuing on and volunteering. I'm part of the Youngstown Neighborhood Leader.
You are invested in the 7th Ward.
Well, the Youngstown Neighborhood Leaders are citywide. And
okay.
what that is different neighborhood associations or block watch presidents, we all come together and share ideas, like what worked best for them, or if they had a problem with this, how they got it resolved. So we also go with citywide issues together. We did a city safety series last fall on the ambulance service that got really dicey. We were about to lose and not have coverage with, and I mean, there was seriously delays in getting an ambulance. The company that we had then just kept asking for more money.
I remember.
Right. So we heard from the firefighters union on, how they could have their own ambulance service. We heard from the fire chief, and then we heard from the mayor. And we did it in 3 separate meetings with each leader, because we felt that maybe they could speak a little more freely, and then that way it also helped residents understand, how that works. So that's one thing that the Youngstown neighborhood leaders worked on. Now we're working on code enforcement and demolition, because the city has, some blight issues, and, just needs some
yes,
needs some improvements here and there.
yes, and yes. So you decided, hey, let me run for 7th Ward Council.
It was actually at the urging of the residents that I was
there we go. Now we getting there.
That was nowhere on my radar. My major in college was communications and aviation, and the industry is weekends and holidays, right? As a DJ, yeah.
Yes,
so that's really conducive to necessarily having a family and being available, way back then. So I did end up running a medical practice for 10 years.
Look at there. we got so much in common.
Okay.
I didn't run a medical practice, but you could have employed me. You could have employed me.
So yeah, just a variety of different things. But I just started out wanting to make my neighborhood better, and then help out with the nonprofit. And along the way, just people said, would you consider running for council? And I was like, politics? I don't know.
I don't want to.
I mean, I think it's important to vote and be, really be knowledgeable about the people that are voted in, whether you voted for them or not, because they're making decisions about your livelihood, right? So
it's extremely important.
It is.
I want to let the listening audience know that your slogan is committed to communicating.
Yeah. Because I think sometimes residents feel like they're not really aware of what decisions are being made in the ward for them. Some of them don't necessarily feel heard. And so that's one thing that is really on my heart to do, is just to always be in communications with the people that I represent. Because I think that's your whole job in the first place. How can you work for people if you don't know what they want? Because different groups, all around the city have different needs. So I think it's important. I could have great ideas for the ward, but if they're not good ideas for, the people in the neighborhoods in my ward, then it's not going to work out.
Okay, so with your fantastic communicating skills, your people in your community said, hey, you speak for us. And you thought about it.
I thought about it. And
how long did it take you to think about it?
A few months. It wasn't like sure, okay, I'll do that. I think you have to really consider the job and what a council person does. And sometimes it's not necessarily like written on paper, some of the things that a council person does, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing that. So
right.
So that's it took me a few months to decide if I could do it or not. And I encourage anyone that has leadership or wants to make a change in their neighborhood or city, don't shy away from running for office. There's a lot of great resources out there to educate yourself and on how to run for office, because if you live here, you matter. Your voice is important. So I just encourage anyone to think about that.
Okay. So being a family woman, you said you have 4 children and 6 grandchildren.
Yes.
And your husband busy in the city. Everybody's doing what they do. Do you think you're going to have the time to take those calls and listen to your community?
I do believe so, because when if I'm elected, I'll have to step back from some of those things, because some of the boards, you really can't be an elected official and, serve in that capacity. So while I would still go to the meetings, I will be called in a different direction with council meetings, committee meetings, meeting with maybe local businesses and stuff. So my role will shift a little bit, but I don't see the time that it being added on more, because I feel like I'm already
doing it. Look, I'm like, oh yeah, you're servicing everybody. Like, here you go, sure. And talking to you prior to the actual interview, even DJing and all that, servicing the community. Hey, how can I help you? How can I make you things better?
Right,
so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Thank you.
And it really is. And you said 4 children and 6 grandchildren? What's the age range with your grands?
With the grands, we have a 10-year-old all the way down to twin 9-month-olds. So it's fun.
But y'all can't see my face. I'm like...
And I do Fridays or fun days with the twins. So
how cool is that?
Yeah, I get to babysit them on Fridays. So, and my other, the rest of them are kind of not too far away, about an hour here and there. So I still get to be hands-on involved with them, which is really
so
important.
Her communication skills vary from 9-month-old all the way up. It's like, I can talk to you. We can relate. I can relate. So if you have an issue, you know who to contact.
And it's funny you say that, because my church, there's a group for the seniors, and you have to be 55 or older. Well, I'm not 55 yet, but my husband is.
Okay.
So I could not wait to be part of this group, because they get really great speakers. They do really fun things.
You can't wait to be a part of the group.
So they let me in, because when my husband turned 55, they said, well, we can't deny the spouse just because they're not at the right age.
They let you in.
They let me in.
Let her in.
I help plan their annual Christmas dinner, which is a big deal.
Oh, you're really in.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Wait, you really got in.
So I love seniors. I love babies. I mean, it sounds a little Pollyanna-ish, but I mean, I do.
No, it doesn't. It is so funny, because you can't wait to get into the seniors, the seasoned group. Like, oh, I can't wait to get in. Oh, they let you in. You got in by proxy. Like, I'm in. Now I'm planning everything.
Yeah, and
that's pretty
cool. You can
cool.
learn from everyone in any age group. I mean,
Tell me this. Did you get your AARP card in the mail?
I did. And I was like, and it was just in my name. And I'm like, am I old enough for this already? They didn't know I was married to my husband. They just see you and then they send you the card. And I was like,
how did you feel? You can get in. You can get in the club now, right? At the church. Like, listen, I got this. I'm in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. So you're doing good with the seniors, and you're planning. Obviously, they're content.
Yeah.
Happy about the planning.
Yeah. They sometimes, if I can't make it to a luncheon, they miss me and they and let me know. But they know I'm usually doing something else that
That is so nice. Look at there.
And the majority of the members of the Seventh Ward Citizens Coalition are 55 and over.
Okay.
So I'm already kind of also working with that older generation.
Oh, you got it made.
But I really want to attract the younger generation, because eventually, these seniors, are going to pass on.
But those are the hard ones to get. The seniors are the hard ones to get. They're like, no, we don't want any young people. No, get out of here.
You're right, 100%. It took me 3 years to finally get our organization to change the logo, because branding's important.
It is.
And so if the younger, people aren't really connecting with that or understanding what the group is and what it does, then they're not going to want to join. I started we're all busy, right?
Mm-hmm.
No matter who you are, whether you have kids or don't, you have careers, you have things going on, maybe other family members to take care of. But everyone has 1 hour a month. We spend it on social media, watching a TV show, 1 hour in a whole month. So I did #1 hour per month to try to attract the younger people in. So saying, maybe if you came and planted flowers or helped us put our Thanksgiving baskets together for our Thanksgiving
volunteer.
food. Yeah, and you can bring your kids. You know what I mean? Like we're a community organization, and that's for all ages. For all, and so I understand how busy people are today in families, but we all have 1 hour a month. So I started the hashtag 1 hour per month. Some of the seniors still don't understand.
Like a hashtag, what is that?
And it's gonna take a while, but we've seen some stepping up. So
you're like the gap. You're bridging the gap. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, the hashtag. I'm like, okay, hashtag. But that took me some time to get to the hashtag because I didn't understand it.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, wait. And then I found out because my daughter, who's how old is she? 25. She says, well, the hashtag. If you put hashtag, when you click on that, it takes you to everywhere else. So then you're out there.
Right.
I.e. why I'm on all the podcasts now. So yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so they getting there. You keeping them hip. Keeping them hip.
Yeah.
You hear that, Mother? Because I know you're listening. Pulling it in. So is it safe to say the 7th Ward is a family? All family? Is that safe to say? Because sometimes you have like businesses in between there.
Right.
But it seems like majority of when I roll down, because I go on Roam, like my phone on Roam, and I'm like, oh, look at this, and I'm looking at the houses, and it seems like the 7th Ward community, there's a lot of family dwellings.
There are. I mean, we're bordered by businesses, but pretty much in the different neighborhoods, we'll have some small businesses peppered in there, but it is mostly families, and all families look different, so
which is important,
right?
For diversity is it.
Yes. But I mean, even sometimes maybe there's not a mom or a dad, or a mom and a dad. Maybe it's a grandmother or an aunt that's raising the kids. So what we all have an idea of what a family dynamic looks like isn't necessarily that one thing.
Or someone that's single who does not have children but have nieces and nephews, because I know I used to go over to my aunt's house all the time, and we need a place to play when we were younger. We need a place to go outside,
right.
Exert that energy instead of playing video games. Yes, it's a message. Get outside, feel safe being outside.
Right.
And do you find, since you've been there 25 years, do you find yourself feeling like, hey, this needs to change, this is not safe? And not saying like in that particular area, meaning like guardrails, like the traffic, how the sometimes people fly by, listen, that drives me nuts.
Right.
Fly down the street and you're like, whoa, wait, we have children here.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about how to go about getting those signs. How they...
The speed sign.
The speed sign, like with the little children, crossing, or be careful, or deaf child. Those signs.
It sounds kind of basic, but easy. You just call the Youngstown Sign and Signal Department.
That's it. I could have did that long time ago.
Now you might want to enlist the help of your council person to kind of facilitate that along a little quicker, but don't discount the power of you being, a resident in the city, because all of these departments are funded by your taxpayer dollars, so they work for you. So yeah, if you want to get a sign like that in your neighborhood, you call Sign and Signal, have a conversation with them, tell them what kind of sign you think needs to be there, and they'll talk to you, and if it's the appropriate sign in the right place, then you can just do that all by yourself.
Oh, look at there. See, look at there. Didn't even know that. And I wanted to bring that part up because it's crazy how all the time you hear, it's all like negative, like crime, crime is an issue, but you have the safety issue of the traffic, and I see it so often flying by. And I'm not going to say that's all the young folk, because I had a grandfather that flew.
Right.
Yeah, lead foot.
They speed too. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, slow down. So those signs you can just call down there, but you said it could kind of expedite things if you
reach out to your council
person.
It's interesting that you're bringing up the speeding, though, because unfortunately here in the 7th Ward, it's not just speeding, it's high-speed crashes. We have a street here, Lucius, and someone came flying down, and they went across Zedeker right up into my neighbor's driveway and took out the garage and the car that was in it. Someone was speeding down Shady Run Road, and they crashed into the corner of Pemberton Park where the soccer field is and took out the fence and almost the scoreboard. So, and then just a few other houses down, there's same thing. And I think it's because Pemberton Park, people don't know that some of these streets like Avondale and Lucius don't go straight.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, they don't
have an end of the road.
Yeah. So not that it makes it okay, but so that it's not just the speeding, it's the high speed crashes, and as far as we know, thank goodness no one has gotten hurt. Maybe the drivers have, but we don't know, because sometimes they leave the scene or they leave the car. So
isn't that something?
Yeah.
I'm like, how? I'll see that and I'm thinking, how did they get out? I seen a whole truck flipped over and the girl got out like nothing. I was, well, where's your cape?
Right, I know. We had a bank robbery over here like years ago, and they came flying down my street, and they flipped upside down on the roof, and they all got out and ran. And I'm like, I know some of you had to be hurt, right? Like
adrenaline.
Right, that's what me and my friend Janet were just saying. It's got to be the adrenaline.
Like, what in the world? Wow, that's interesting. Now for the railings. So, as far as like you said, somebody crashed into like a neighbor's garage and took it out. Garage. Yeah. Were they on the corner?
No, they're just dead end. So Lucius,
okay, dead. So they were at the end of the street, though.
Yeah, the 800 block goes across. It dead ends into Zedeker, so you'd have to turn left or right, or in this case, you would hit someone's house.
Oh, right, because it goes straight. Now, those, the that metal that is like on the freeways or stuff like that. Yeah, the guardrail for that right there. Would that be the same tactic as far as, do you know that? As far as like the sign?
Because all of the houses on Zedeker, you really couldn't block anything there. So people that live on Lucius, Lucius runs east and west, and Zedeker runs north and south.
Okay.
So people that live there on Lucius and they need to go to Zedeker have to be able to turn right or left. And so everything across the street, it's all, all
I would be to put a fence, even though you can't put a fence up there. Can you visit this fence first so I know to take cover?
Well, interesting, at the end of Avondale, there is a fence because it used to be an entrance to the Pemberton Park. Right. And so there is a fence there, and people do hit that fence.
See?
But they hit the cyclone fence so much that it's usually damaged, and the city has to put a new one up. So
I would rather that than my house.
Right. Well,
or they hit a beam in the whole house.
Yeah, it's almost hit the house that lives right next to it. So it's very scary.
It has to be. And you're like, I'm just going to bed. Good night. And then what? Are these headlights I'm looking at,
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, we got to figure something out.
Well, we've heard from the one neighbors. Actually, it's the one whose garage was driven into. We do have 2 speed signs. So all it does is let you know how fast you're going. So no, it might not deter some people, but she has noticed that when the sign is up and operational, it does have people slow down.
It would make me slow down, because it brings you back. It's like
you think, I'm going 45 and a 25. Maybe I need to, so not that I speed. I don't go 45, but there are people that'll go.
It'll bring you back, and you don't even realize it. Sometimes, like if you're just listening and grooving, and you're like, oh, okay, or your mind is somewhere else, and then you see it. It's like, oh, wait, pay attention.
Yeah.
Easily distracted nowadays.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our signs, the batteries were defective and they weren't working. Our councilwoman tends to move them, to different sides of the ward, so that every high-speed area has a chance to have that sign there.
Now we're getting ready to shop talk. You're moving it. How about get another one?
They are very expensive. I don't know the budget of the
Somebody need to say, hey, listen, this is what we want. We want better signs, and I'm just going to keep it 100. We need signs. How much is it's going to cost us this? If you want to do it, hey, let's up it. Are you willing to pay? We have to invest in our communities. And I don't see that happening with everyone. They're like, oh, okay, well, they're nickel and diming me. But if I don't have a problem investing if I see the work done.
Right.
It's when I don't see the work done that I have an issue. And even with the whole speeding thing, I'm thinking about, and while you're telling me the story about your neighbor and they took out the garage, in my mind, my insurance is going to increase. That's what's going on in my head
And it does,
the whole
yeah.
time. And it's like, okay, yeah, you can fix it all day long, but now I got to pay because of this clown.
Yeah. Or the city had to pay to replace the fence at the
Yeah,
park,
right.
and then the fence at the end of Avondale. Like
Right,
multiple
but guess what I'm
times.
thinking? Because it's my vote, so I'm thinking me, and it is so important, people. Think you. And you have some people out there who think the masses when they're voting, and it doesn't benefit you. And the reason I'm saying that is because Josie Lyon, you are running as a Republican?
I am running as a Republican.
Running
yes.
as a Republican. So you got to look at how it works for you. And I know like you have Democrats, Republican, and Independent.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, I'm a Democrat, so I got to vote all Democrat. But the Democrat candidates, what they're, saying that they're running for, it's not benefiting me. So, see, I'm still back over there, like my insurance on my house is going to be up. Like, if I have to pay, and it's for me, to benefit me and my family unit, I don't have a problem with it.
Right.
My problem is when I am not benefiting and I don't see where my dollars are going. If I had a big pothole in the street, it's like, okay, well, we're going to fix the streets. Okay, well, we're going to increase this because we're going to fix the streets. Okay, well, I don't have a problem with paying extra taxes. But why are we fixing over here on another side of town when I'm paying here? Like, come on.
And I think that's where that committed to communicating comes from, because you're speaking to the fact that this is what we need. This is what we're willing, to get fixed. So again, the council person can have, their own ideas to improve the ward or think that these are going to make things better. But if you're not communicating with your residents and finding out what they really need and what's important to them, and that they're willing to understand, maybe this is why we have to pay a little more for something, and they're willing to do that, it's important. It's huge to have that communication with your residents.
Agreed. I don't understand when I hear people, they're like, well, we don't have this and we're not having that. And they're complaining. But then when they say, okay, well, we're getting ready to increase your taxes, that's a problem. And then you'll hear them speak of the outskirts, like your Boardman, your Liberty. Oh, well, their streets is this, they're doing this. They're paying. And it's like, this is why this is. But you have us here in the city, and I'm speaking from me, in the city who don't want to pay, but want. But these things cost money. And, I'm for the people 110%. But I have to look at myself. And how is this affecting me? Is this going to benefit me? When I say that, that's my community.
Right.
So I just want people to be clear. Like, how can we make this community better? That's why they have certain communities have block watches. All of them don't.
Right. There's a lot of uncovered ones.
But the complaint is there. So with that, with that being said, when it's presented, and this is coming from me, not Josie Lyon, when it's presented and they increase in the dollar amount or the taxes or anything like that, ask the questions. Ask your council person, where is this money's going? And then act accordingly. Vote. Go ahead. Any last words?
Well, that's one of the reasons that if I'm elected, I want to have monthly town halls to let them know what legislation that I proposed that was passed, because that's what they need to know. Like, they need to know, what am I doing, and what am I doing for them? Because a lot of there's people that just don't. They don't understand what laws have been passed or what changes have been made. So that's one of the things that I really want to do is keep in that communication the whole 4 years of my term, because I think that's important for people to understand. I do want to back up a little bit, though, about, being willing to pay to have a problem fixed. I do think we also have to recognize, though, there are those that are on fixed incomes or, might not have the money for maybe their taxes to go up a little bit.
I wasn't even talking about that. I'm talking about the people that can't. Because I understand that part of it big time.
Right. But that's where, as a council person, you can seek out grants.
Okay.
Right? So you can get grants to kind of supplement and then maybe not raise that cost for everyone. So grants are out there, and it's not just your council person that can seek them out, your neighborhood groups, nonprofits. You can go to the library. Our libraries have great resources, so much that we don't even know. So I encourage you to go to your local library, talk to the librarian. They offer all kinds of services. They'll go over job resumes with you. They'll teach maybe your grandma how to use her smartphone if she's struggling with that.
Woo!
They have
that's some patience. That's patience.
And they have door delivery service. Maybe if you had a surgery or you're shut in or whatever, that you can rent library books for free. They'll bring them to your house. When you're done, they'll pick them up. I just like to help, and so you can go there and they'll point you in the right direction to look up grants, and there's just a lot of resources, information out there. It's just how to get it. And so I just wanted to share that part.
I can appreciate that, and that's good, because I don't want them to be like, listen, here, I'm on a fixed income. No, I don't have not another dollar as high as this water bill is. That right there is my problem. But I'll just keep that private, talk about it another time, okay? I get that, so I'm glad that you cleared that part of it up. I don't, when you have the different tax brackets, so that's where I was going with that part. I don't expect grandma to give me her change purse and give me her nickels.
Yeah.
But, different tax brackets to determine.
Yeah, because our neighborhoods are really diverse, socioeconomically and everything. So you're right. Yeah, definitely.
Just wanted to put that out there. Do you have any last words? I appreciate you coming and talking to me. I do.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I really appreciate the invitation. It's been great talking to you, and I'm not going to be on the ballot till November 7th, and it's going to be a long campaign, but there are different ways that people can reach out to me. I have a Facebook page. I have a website. They can contact me through that way, and I want to hear from them what they would like to see me do if I'm elected in November.
All right, we got to get you back. Let people see Josie Lyon. Josie Lyon. All right, Youngstown 7th Ward Council. She is the new candidate. She's been here 25 years. I didn't know her. I guess, look, some people might be sleeping on you too. They were like, who's this person? I need to talk to her. Hold on. Very, very likable person. Hopefully that was conveyed through the podcast here, and you guys can get her energy. It's pretty good energy. Y'all pretty much know that because you can hear how the vibe is. Otherwise, I'd be like, that. If I'd have hit y'all with one of those here, but like, okay, Mel was like, yeah. Listen, I'm loving her. I'm loving your energy. Beautiful smile. And she can communicate with all. You heard her, 9-month-old all the way up. She happy she got into the season crowd. They let her in the club. So, guys, don't forget to vote. She won't be on the ballot until November. But you guys will definitely hear from her throughout. You said it's going to be a long campaign. Just make sure it's a fun one.
Thank you.
All right, take it easy. You're listening to Shop Talk with Mel. Hey, guys, make sure that you check us out on all socials. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. And share with your friends. Miss Josie Lyon, Youngstown 7th Ward Council. Check her out. Peace.